Good evening. You're watching the news from the Sultanate of Oman television. First, the headlines. The Ministry of Tourism signs 2 memoranda of understanding aimed to support, encourage work and invest in tourism sector in the Sultanate. UN experts hail the Sultan's implementation of articles from 3rd and 4th chapters of anti-corruption agreement. And the Municipal Council of the Governorate of the Far discusses strategic planning of Raisud Industrial Estate. Those were the headlines, and now the news in detail. In order to support and encourage small and medium-sized enterprises to work and invest in the tourism sector, the Ministry of Tourism signed 2 memoranda of understanding with the Public Authority for Small and Medium Enterprises Development and Al Raft Fund. They were signed by His Excellency Ahmed bin Nasser Al Mahrizi, Minister of Tourism, and His Excellency Dr. Ali bin Masood Al Sunaidi, Minister of Commerce and Industry. The 2 memoranda of understanding states that the Ministry of Tourism shall identify the list of tourism projects that can be managed and operated by the small and medium enterprises and the touristic areas of great priority, in addition to send a number of entrepreneurs in the field of tourism annually to visit pioneering countries in the field to benefit from their successful ventures. They also dealt with simplifying procedures related to issuance of tourism licenses and providing special places for enterprises in tourism and travel exhibitions. The 2 memos also states that the Public Authority for Small and Medium Enterprises shall provide training opportunities for SMEs and fund entrepreneurs who wish to invest in touristic projects. The Ministry of Tourism will reoffer 15 touristic projects for investment in May. That was said by His Excellency Ahmed bin Nasser Al Mahrizi, Minister of Tourism, in a statement to the Sultanate of Oman Radio and Television, attributing that to the reason of showing least interest in investment during last year. He said 19 sites were offered and priorities were given to the citizens of those governorates. Out of 19, only 4 were eligible, and the other 15 will be reoffered for investment, but there will be no precondition that the investors must be from the same governorate, but they can be from any other place. He also said a new company was established. It has a board of directors in which the Ministry of Heritage and Culture, Ministry of Tourism, Ministry of Finance and Omran Company are represented. It is a subsidiary of Omran Company. It is tasked to develop forts and castles in line with global tourism specifications, along with its management, operation and providing services. What is being lacked now are restaurants and coffee shops. There and maybe in the future some forts and castles would be transformed into accommodation on units or will develop their surrounding areas. His Excellency the Minister of Tourism also stressed that the ministry has finalized a study of the project of touristic taxes and will be offered in a soon tender. These taxes are meant to be the taxes that serve tourism sector only, as it falls within the scope of responsibilities of the Ministry of Tourism. These costs will be named touristic taxes. Tender will be offered to manage this project entirely. Initially, it will be in the Governorate of Muscat, and all indicators are showing that the project will be successful. Taxi owners interacted very positively, and they are desirous for the project to be into existence. 4 finance programs will be launched by Al Raft Fund in June. That was stated by Tariq bin Sulaiman Al Farsi, Chief Executive Officer of Al Raft Fund, in a statement to the Sultanate of Oman Radio and Television, mentioning that regaining the amounts from the beneficiaries amounted to 96%. These programs will be specialized in tourism field, trade agencies, students' finance, and rural women. He added that finance programs, which were formed from Al Raft Fund and were launched in 2014, had a period of grace of 1 year and 3 months, and the first amount regained from beneficiaries entrepreneurs amounted to more than 96%. He said it is a very good positive indicator reflecting that there is a culture of self-employment is taking place in the Sultanate of Oman. In order to support and encourage entrepreneurs to develop their ventures, the Public Authority for Small and Medium Enterprises organized in Muscat the second Tawassul workshop for mentorship program. It highlighted services provided by mentors and commercial volunteers to entrepreneurs. Riyadh program seeks to provide technical assistance to entrepreneurs in a number of sectors such as oil and gas, foodstuff, restaurants and logistics services. It targeted 134 participants. The workshop was attended by His Excellency Dr. Ali bin Masood As-Sunaidi, Minister of Commerce and Industry. Statistics of the Public Authority for Small and Medium Enterprises Development showed that around 15,686 private sector establishments were registered at the authority in various economic sectors. The government seeks, in partnership with the private sector, to continue supporting this sector to enhance its role in national economy and provide job opportunities for Omani youths. The private sector establishments centered in the field of health, social work and construction. They share with the government and the responsibility to support, fund and train Omani enterprises and raise the contribution of small and medium enterprises in the country's gross domestic product. In order to enhance integrity and follow up the Sultan's implementation of the 3rd and 4th chapters of United Nations Agreement on Anti-Corruption were part of the agenda of the visit paid by officials and experts from the UN to the Sultanate. The meeting was hosted by the state's Financial and Administrative Audit Institution with the participation of the Administrative Affairs Board for Judiciary, the Public Prosecution and Royal Oman Police. The visit came after the experts team of the Sultan reviewed the implementation of the aforementioned 2 chapters of agreement and informed the Secretariat Party countries with the notes. Still to come in our news bulletin. In its 2nd edition, Innovation Forum is held in the Wilaya of Al-Musana.
والآن اكتشفي جديد كيري، مربعات بمذاق اللبنة.
Welcome back to the news from the Sultanate of Oman Television. Communications and Information Technology Exhibition COMEX 2015 continued its activities at Oman International Exhibition Center with the participation of 35 government institutions from inside and outside the Sultanate and 150 specialized companies. Within the first 3 days, more than 60,000 people visited the exhibition, which is organized by Oman International Trade and Exhibitions in collaboration with Information Technology Authority. It contains 3 sections institutions. The first section is concerned with Digital Oman and the introduction of e-government institutions and services. The second section is COMEX Business hosting 150 companies specializing in new and emerging trends in the field of optical fiber, cloud computing and integrated solutions in information and communications technology. The third section, COMEX Shopping, which showcases the latest tools and equipment in the information and communications technology sector. A number of seminars were held to acquaint businessmen, visitors and the attendees with enterprises resources, planning solutions, human resources management, programs and improving marketing platforms, in addition to launching new applications and new generation technology. This event is considered a good chance to extend professional acquaintances among participants and to provide valuable information for international exhibitors on the developing business sector in the Sultanate, as well as mutual trading opportunities. On the sideline of COMEX 2015, a news team met a number of website hackers whose talents are utilized in a positive manner, as they are currently working in institutions as defense line against hacking. Dr. Salim bin Sultan Al-Razaqi, Chief Executive Officer of Information Technology Authority, stressed that the hackers are invited to use their experience, adding that hacking government website is considered as a cybercrime. 23 artists participated in a national event on the love of His Majesty Sultan Qaboos, which was organized by Oman Fine Art Association. The activity, which was presided over by His Highness Sayyid Shihab bin Tariq Al Saeed, included poems, drawing and sculptures, as well as pictures exhibition for His Majesty the Sultan. The event, which will continue until next November, will cover all governorates of the Sultanate and will give the opportunity for the citizens to participate and present their talents. Amid the presence of volunteers from various segments of the society, an open day for volunteers as kidney and liver donors was held in Royal Hospital. The ceremony was presided over by Her Highness Dr. Muna bint Fahad bin Mahmoud Al Saeed. The open day aimed to aware society with the importance of donation and introduce prevention procedures after operation of organ transplant. It accompanied by exhibition on the importance of donation. At the conclusion of the ceremony, the donors were honored. Omani Women's Association of the Governorate of Muscat organized a dialogue session titled Activating Female Clubs in Districts and Wilayas and Their Utilization in Instilling Values. The session recommended to allocate special buildings to be used for women potentials in cooperation with the Ministry of Education and government institutions to open schools during summer breaks to set up a number of events and programs that would serve all health, social and religious aspects. It also recommended the participation of private sector in support of these clubs. Limiting the spread of palm trees dubas and evaluating the results of ground and aerial spraying topped the discussion of the Ministry of Agriculture and Fisheries Wealth meeting. The meeting which chaired by His Excellency Dr. Ahmed bin Nasser Al-Bakri, Under-Secretary of the Ministry of Agriculture and Fisheries Wealth for Agriculture, discussed also the modern technologies on elimination of this pest. First extraordinary meeting of the year for the Municipal Council in the Governorate of Dhofar discussed strategic planning of Raisut Industrial Estate. The Council also reviewed the aims of National Programme for Elderly Care. The meeting, chaired by His Excellency Sheikh Salim bin Aufait Al-Shanfari, Chairman of Dhofar Municipality and the Municipal Council. With the aim to spreading the culture of voluntary work and exchange experiences among voluntary institutions, the second version of Innovation Forum was held in the Wilaya of Al-Musana. The forum witnessed the participation of more than 20 institutions and voluntary associations from various governorates of the Sultanate. The forum included a number of work and training sessions on activating voluntary work in addition to charity market as one of the aspects on the reality of voluntary work. Now for the general weather forecast. Dusty skies will prevail over the coastal areas of Sea of Oman, and the rest of the Sultanate will have clear skies with chances of low clouds and fog during late night and early morning in the Governorate of Al-Wusta. Winds will be southwesterly light to moderate along the coastal areas of Sea of Oman, and it will be northwesterly light to moderate along the rest of the Sultanate. Seas along the coast of the Governorate of Musandam and Arabian Sea will be slight to moderate with a maximum wave height of 2 meters, while it will be slight along the rest of the coast with a maximum wave height of 1 meter. This is the Sultanate of Oman television. Before we end tonight's bulletin, here are the main points once again. The Ministry of Tourism signs 2 memoranda of understanding aimed to support, encourage work and invest in tourism sector in the Sultanate. UN experts hail the Sultanate's implementation of articles from 3rd and 4th chapters of anti-corruption agreement. And the Municipal Council of the Governorate of Dhofar discusses strategic planning of Raisut Industrial Estate. With that, we come to the end of tonight's news bulletin. From all of us here in the studio and the newsroom, it's good night.